everyone, and welcome to Get Better, a show about two longtime friends trying their best, growing up, and hopefully getting better. I'm Zach Johnson.
And I'm Sam Cherry.
Hello, Sam, and welcome back to the Black Eye Boys, the boys that have injuries around their eye cavities.
That's really more the black eye boy, but you have enough of a black eye for both of us.
Yeah. So I really wish that my first black eye in my mid-late 20s would have been at the cause of some actual justice or, doing something cool. Like you fight someone for not wearing a mask. Someone walks into a place and you're just like, hey, man, this is for the safety of everybody. And I clock them. And then they also clock me, I guess, or maybe they clock me first. And I get the benefit of having done something maybe justicey, but I got punched in the face. So maybe actually not that. Maybe not that.
Yeah. I'm sitting here, I'm mulling over in my mind. The idea of punch someone in the face for not wearing a mask had never occurred to me. My gut is bad. My gut is that's probably the wrong decision. But punching a Nazi, maybe that's a thing.
Yeah.
That's in the zeitgeist. That's a thing people talk about.
That's true, but that's real 2016, 2017.
I know.
I'm trying. We have to be trendy. That's the one thing we had to get. Traction.
And to be fair, I've never punched a Nazi, so I'm not really sure how that goes down. Not everybody is Richard Spencer, who just sort of crumples like a paper doll. So I don't know. I don't even know if that's good advice to punch in the face.
But no, that is not how it went down.
Right, of course, yeah. Sorry,
No, it's fine. What went down was my face onto the concrete when I fell off my bicycle.
Yeah, real hard, dude. You look bad.
Oh, thank you. That's nice. That's very sweet of you.
What?
It's nice that I don't know, to the listeners that have a black eye or
more like black side of your face. I mean, it's a lot more than your whole cheek area.
Yeah. It is. There is a lot to do on this side of my face. But I think based on the one day I've been out in the world with a black eye, I think I have enough tips and tricks to help people.
Okay.
With general black eye etiquette.
Sure.
Number one,
bring it on.
Don't say what happened to your face. That's a bad one. I have found that one to happen more frequently than I anticipated.
And why is that bad? Because something happened to your face.
Something did happen to my face. It just feels very tactless and like I'm a monster. But then again, so the one thing I am torn because it is jarring to have a whole half of your face be different than the other half of your face than it was the day previously. So the one that I got a lot was the one that you just said, which is you look bad.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm torn about that is because it's you look bad in parentheses. You usually look good.
Sure. Also, it looks like you got into a bitchin' bar fight, so it's not terrible.
Yeah. It does look. I did fall in such a way where it does look like I got punched right in the face, which is nice.
What happened?
I was going down this hill and it's like a big wide berth of a hill and you can either take the inside path or the outside path. And I took the inside path, and as I was doing the me leaning into it, I hit a little bit of a crack in the road, and I kind of did one of those wobbly wobbles and I did a weeble wobble, and I did in fact fall down.
You did fall all the way down.
I fell all the way down, and I did kind of a skid on my shoulder and chest into skidding on my face. Which is great. And but I got up and I did, it's important that if you are in an accident to give, you got to give your vitals a check. I don't know how to gauge whether or not I have a concussion.
Sure.
But I didn't feel like I did, which I think is step one. I'm usually pretty paranoid about getting a concussion. I've never had one, but I know rule number one is don't fall asleep.
And it was the middle of the day, so who cares?
Yeah, it was the middle of it. Yeah, exactly. The sun was out, so it was fine. I wasn't about to fall asleep. But I think you get very sleepy. But
I'm excited for all the
yes.
frantic emails about like, oh God, that's not how it works, Zach. But though that's for next week when they hear this, and you'll either be dead or fine at that point.
Yeah, listen, I talked to a nurse. She wasn't a brain nurse, but she was a nurse.
Oh,
so
then you're fine.
I think she seemed to be fine. She said that I look bad, which is nice. So I just, did a little fall, did a little skid, and didn't have a concussion, didn't have any broken bones. I just had a skidded up little knee and shoulder and what have you. It was gravel, which is great.
Oh, God.
And because it was downhill, I had no choice but to follow suit and continue to go downhill. Yeah. There was no kind of like fall off. I had to fall off with gravity.
And did your bike continue down the hill?
It exploded. It evaporated into nothingness.
Oh, got it.
It turned into a bunch of birds and just flew off.
Classic, turn into a bunch of birds.
Yeah,
well, you shouldn't have bought your bike from that wizard, should you?
No, and I kind of knew that. It's a bitchin' bike. It has like other powers. Not anymore. It's a bunch of birds now. I think if I find all the birds, and I think
feed them after midnight, they'll probably
and I convince them to go back into a bike, which I think is gonna be tricky.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, it was pretty great. It gave me like good luck, except for that one moment, I guess.
The bike or I see.
Bike.
I see. It gave you good luck because you didn't break your whole brain open.
Yeah. And so if anything, that was good. I had to walk home, which was kind of unfortunate.
Oh, and no. So actually, what happened to your bird bike? Your bike. I mean,
huh?
It
didn't
turn into a bunch of birds. Never mind. I don't know why I asked.
Yeah, exactly.
Forget it. Never mind. Walked home.
Had to walk right on home through the woods.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you're okay.
I am doing a lot better than I look, which I think is good.
Did I ever?
You don't want to be doing a lot worse than you look.
Sure.
Because then you're deceiving.
Yeah.
So you have I don't think I have internal bleeding or anything. I just have a clogged up side of my face, which is great because I wish that I had the foresight to take a bunch of pictures of myself yesterday before all the swelling kicked in, and then do like a cool photo shoot where it's like, whoa, who is this guy with the cool beat up face?
Right.
I liken it to the times when you're sick and you have a sick person voice and everyone's kind of like, whoa, sick voice. And they love it. They love the sick voice. I think having a big bloody gash on the side of your face is kind of akin to sick voice.
Yeah, it's cool. It's obviously cool. I can't explain why. I don't know what to tell. I don't know what it is, but it's obviously cool.
I'll tell you from experience, the cracked in the side of the face, I got compliments like, you look like the main character in a movie, or you look like an action star. Where today I got, oh God, do you need to go somewhere? Because you don't look that great when your eye is not all the way swollen shut, but definitely with a little bit of finessing could be swollen shut.
It's less Die Hard. It's less Die Hard, and it's more like stung by a bunch of bees.
Yeah,
I'm going off one photograph. I don't know.
No, I look worse than that. The one I sent you, the one I sent you. I sent you an hours ago.
You sent me one today, which is still within hours ago.
Yes. That was actually from yesterday. And I was kind of I'm parsing out the information I'm giving. I look much worse now. That was funny. I would consider that to be, I'm looking kind of cool guy. Got it. That one looks like bitchin' bar fight. I'll send you a picture of myself now to give you kind of, I've been tracking my progress, sending it to my mom.
You told your mom?
Huh?
Why would you tell your mom?
No, why would I? Why would I tell my mom?
Yeah.
Because moms, when you become a mom, you become like an untrained nurse. And also, if my mom had found out about it later, she'd been pissed.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so...
I feel like you're only asking for her to be worried and upset if you're like, here's my fucked up body.
Well,
Instead
I
of
sent
just
her,
like, oh, a while ago this thing happened, but you can see me now and I'm fine.
No, I sent her a picture of the initial impact,
Got
and
it.
then her response.
Was
She's
she
not
the
really.
nurse you talked to?
No. She's not the kind of mom that's like, my baby, I got to get him out of this city. It's too dangerous. She kind of was like, damn.
Damn.
All right, like, dude,
Fell the fuck off that bike, huh?
dog. Damn, for real though. She is from a rural background, and she once told me a story of how the proper way to get into a fight as a girl is the first one that grabs the hair has the upper hand.
Sure, of course.
And I was like, how do you know that? And she was like, because that's how I won all the fights that I was in. And I was like, tight.
That's cool.
So I'm thinking that she's had her fair share of black eyes. She called it a shiner, which I think is funny, which is like,
Quaint.
That's like the equivalent of like, you got a shiner, just put some Mountain Dew on it, and then you'll just call it a day. You'll be fine.
Take a T-bone steak and just sort of slap it on your eyeball.
Exactly. And then I'll get my boxing gloves on and go right back in the ring. I mean, it happens, you know. You get shiners. That's what goes on.
Did I ever tell you about the time I fell off my bike and busted my chin open?
Oh, no, but that sounds like that sucks way worse than what I have going on.
I'll be honest, I don't want to one-up your story. It sucked way worse than what you've got going on.
So because people have been doing that to me all day. They've been one up my story, and I'm like, like I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm fine with the level of hurt that I am right now.
Well, I only do this because this is a podcast and it's a good segue to the story.
I am saying like for the sake of the audience, like the boy just looks really bad, but he's really bad. Like I would say. Did you see the new picture I sent you?
Yeah, it looks way worse. Yeah,
way worse. The left side of my face has become a sort of like a clam, just holding on to a pearl that is my eyeball.
Pretty fucking bad.
Yeah. But please, I would love to hear the story of how you busted your chin open.
Well, it's not a long story, but so I was in the Boy Scouts. I think I've mentioned that before, and we went on a trip up to Loveland, Ohio. I've told the story. We went up to Loveland, Ohio for a bike trip. So we would go, we'd all rent bikes, I think, or we brought bikes. It's not really important. But anyway, and there was this big long trail all up and down Loveland. There was like a bike trail, a bike trail. And so me and some of my friends were going, and we were the older boys in the group, so we were up front. We were all together, but we were way in the back because we wanted to like chill out and just tell jokes and hang out, and we didn't want to.
Boys club.
Well, kind of. I mean, because at that point we were probably 15, 16, right in that age in the Boy Scouts when like, hey, if you can get Eagle Scout, you probably should, because it becomes, you don't want to go, you know what I mean? You've got friends, you've got a car. It's really not the time. You want to go hang out with girls and your buddies and do whatever. You don't want to pack up a bunch of your stuff and go sit in the woods with 12-year-olds. That's not really what you want to do. You know what I mean? So anyway, so we're in the back, and I know we're in the back because, after all this happened, everyone's way in front, and it's a loop where you go up and back. So you would go all the way to this one point, and then you would turn around. So they're not coming back for hours. So it's me and the other older guys, like 3 other dudes, and we're going down this bike path, and we see another group coming our way, and it's a pretty narrow path. Like you couldn't fit a car on it. Yeah, it's a bike. I don't know. I assume people know what a bike path is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but not like a bike lane.
Yeah, bike paths. Yeah. Tradition. Yeah, okay.
So maybe people haven't, but like imagine a bike lane. It's like 3 times as wide. So you can fit. There's room, but it's still tight. You couldn't fit a car on it. So what happened was, I was in front. Thankfully, actually, I was in front. And there was a guy right behind me, and I was getting over to get out of the way of these people coming forward. Well, I didn't get far enough in front, and so my back tire, I guess, clipped the front tire of the guy behind me. Somehow, something. I don't know exactly, but
the why I don't think is as important as the what.
I'm painting a picture here. I believe that's what happened, but if you're some bike expert and you're like, well, that's not what would happen, and then I don't know. Anyway, next thing I know, the bike flips forward and I go over the handlebars, like fully straight out over the handlebars. And I remember because nobody was there to help. Like, that is a specific memory of this story. No one is there to help. So I guess the group that went past us just went on by. And like, so right as they're passing us, this happens. I go face first right over these handlebars and slam directly onto my chin on the ground. And I might have passed out for a second. I don't remember. But anyway, I come to and because I don't remember. Well, I don't remember because I might have passed out. But I come to and I'm on the ground and I'm covered in blood. And my whole chin, and like my chin, I don't want to get too graphic because this might gross people out, but my chin is like hanging off. Like a big flap of skin. And I'm full of adrenaline. And I just kind of pop my chin back in. Not the bone, but the skin. Just sort of pop it back in place. And I jump up and I'm like, yo, I'm fucking good. This is the same story if you remember when I got in that car accident. My initial reaction is full adrenaline, fuck with me, I'm good. So I'm like jumping, I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm good. My shit is good. Like, I am fine. I am covered in my own blood, which is a little, but yes, I can do this. Whoa, let's go. And then when my body calmed down a little after about 30 seconds, I was like, yes, all right, I'm going to pass out. I need to sit down. So I sit down. But I can't remember if I don't think I broke the bike at all. But I'm like, okay, well, I have fucked my whole face up, right? Like, my chin is like not attached and I'm covered in blood. And we are like half a mile into this ride, right? Like, we have to but it's up and back. So it's like, okay, well, let's just walk home. So we take the bikes and we walk back. I might have ridden it after that. I don't remember. But we walk back, we find some, gas station or whatever. They point us towards the campground's medic or something. We get to the medic. And I think they sewed me up right there.
Nice.
Or they just used a Band-Aid.
Okay.
Yeah, because there are stitches in my skin. Are there? I don't know. I got a scar on my chin. I don't remember if I got stitches or not. I might have gotten sewed up right there. I know I didn't go to a hospital. Maybe they just put a big Band-Aid on it.
And they were like,
I don't remember.
Do see it. Like, that was wild, right? Anyway.
You're a Boy Scout. You'll be fine. Which was true. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. I mean, I almost passed out for a second, but otherwise, like, I'm square. I don't know. Because it didn't, like, hurt a lot. And I think the initial impact, I passed out. So, like, I wasn't there for it. So it didn't matter to me. So I was good. Right? But then I'm like, okay, that was spooky, right? And this is very similar to the car wreck thing, where I was like, that freaked me out. But what? Am I going to be scared to ride a bike the rest of my life? Let's get back on the fucking horse. So that next day, it's like, hey, let's make this ride. Like, let's just do it because what the fuck am I going to do? Never ride a bike? Let's go. So then I ride. So then we're going. We get all the way up and we're coming all the way back and my eye starts itching. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, this sucks. And my eye's watering and I can't. And I'm scratching. I'm like, I got something in my eye. I don't know what the fuck. This goes on for like miles because we're going all the way back. Because we went up. It was fine. It was cool. Whatever. We're coming all the way back. And it's watering and watering. And at some point I realized like something is wrong. Like something is wrong with my eye. I can't. It won't stop hurting and watering. What the fuck is going on? I'm there for 2 more days like this. Where like I can't sleep. I have to just close my eye all the time. If I open it, like burns and is watering and I'm just like, I don't know why we didn't go to the doctor again, but I was like, I'll be fine. So,
Sam, I'll tell you what, I know you well enough to know that is exactly why you didn't go to the doctor again.
Because I'll be fine.
Yeah, you're just like, well, that same attitude of like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Not gonna ride a bike again? It's like, we're gonna go to the we're gonna go to the doctor. That's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now. Grow up.
I'm very pro doctor. I want to be clear. I was like 16, and at that point, I was I was fine. It was like, I don't know, my eye sucks right now, but like, I don't know. So anyway, so the weekend.
What am I gonna do? Tell my eye sucks? Let's get on these bikes and ride.
Exactly. So go back. I hope the story isn't boring, but anyway, so we go back to Louisville, and I go to a doctor, and I'm like, hey, so my eye sucks. I don't know what to do. I need to go to a doctor. And they're like, so it turns out, while you're riding your bike, something did get in your eye.
Sick.
And it did cut your retina. So you have to wear an eye patch for the next like week so that your eye can heal. There wasn't really a dramatic conclusion to that story.
I mean, what got into your eye?
Oh, fuck, who knows?
Well, then I would have loved to have known that. Like a bug?
No, it could have been a fucking pine needle. You know, it could have been, it could have been a bug. Could have been a big bug. Could have been a piece of rock that got kicked up by somebody else's tire.
Could have been one big bug.
Could have been one big bug. Probably not, because I would have noticed it. But anyway, yeah, it was a shitty bike trip. I mean, it was fine. We went back the next year. But the thing is, we went back the next year, and we went ahead. And we got.
I saw the past version of myself do the same thing, and I realized that I was living in a time loop. So that was a whole situation.
Why is everyone in time loop movies so upset about it? Like, just accept it. It's fine. Who cares?
Hey.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, right after this, we're gonna go right into recommendation station.
Okay. That show did not look good, so I'm excited to hear if it is. So anyway, we're there, whatever. We get to Loveland, and we're boys, and we're just like, hey, we don't want to wear shirts. Let's take our shirts off. Totally, that makes sense. And also, we don't want to carry these backpacks. So we find this canoe that is like hidden in the back of the plate. It was like a decorative canoe. And so we just stashed all our stuff under it. And
it's funny how sometimes you can find things in secret locations. Like one time I found a bunch of money just in this dude's house. And I was like, hell yeah.
What?
Free money. You stole this canoe is what I'm saying.
No. I'm sorry. No. Sorry. The decorative canoe was there. We put our stuff in the canoe. And
it wasn't your canoe, though.
Well, it was a decorative canoe. It was decorating the town.
What?
It was like a painted. It's not important to the story. There's a canoe, and it's out in the middle of a park. It wasn't like on a beach. Anyway, so we go up, we come back, and turns out all of our shit got stolen. So not a good experience for me in Loveland, Ohio, vis-a-vis bike trips. It's mostly just getting hurt and getting my things stolen.
And getting robbed, yeah.
Yeah, getting hurt and robbed. But a beautiful town if you ever want to visit. It's great.
Yeah, but just like do keep in mind, like don't hold on to a lot of valuable things as well as
like your body and eyeballs. Yeah,
yeah, just watch out for that and just accept it. Like that's the way to go forward. Like don't think that your eyeball's not going to pop out or your chin's not going to be hanging off of it. So exactly, just accept it, and then it'll make the trip way nicer.
Yeah. So you have a recommendation? Is it Palm Springs?
Yeah, everyone, come on down to Recommendation Station. Choo-choo! Hop on board to Recommendation Station. This week on Recommendation Station, I highly recommend Palm Springs.
Really?
A movie starring Andy Samberg, produced by The Lonely Island. It is a movie that follows the same similar plot line to that of Groundhog Day. It is a movie, and for those that don't know who Groundhog Day, or rather what Groundhog Day is, Groundhog Day is a movie starring Bill Murray, where he gets caught in an indefinite time loop for an indeterminate amount of time, and he has to find his way out of it by falling in love with this girl, and that's the way he gets out of it.
Spoilers for Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, but I think it's more about the journey of Groundhog Day than it is about the plot. Sure. And that's kind of how Bill Murray movies are. Like
Caddyshack.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you want to see Bill Murray kind of like goof around for like 2 hours with no consequences? It's like, yeah, that sounds pretty fun. Yeah. All right, well, come on in. But this movie is about Andy Samberg, who is stuck in an indefinite time loop. But this time around, he is actually in the time loop with someone else. He is in the time loop with Kristen Melody, who is the mother character in How I Met Your Mother towards the last season.
Yeah, that's who she is.
Yeah, and
both
of them in that movie are great. They're so good. They bring so much life to these characters, and Andy Samberg's character is he is in a time loop and he accepts it, just like you said.
Right.
The entire
it's
time
in the preview.
The entire time he is kind of like, this is just the way it's going to be, and you have to live your life with no consequences. And he has a bunch of like the story of Groundhog Day is for him like 20 years previous. Like his wild days are over. Like he has done every single thing he can possibly do. And so he has just kind of fallen into
Wait, what?
the So
So
the
wait,
movie
he had been. He
yes,
has.
the movie is Andy Samberg has been stuck in the time loop for somewhere in the neighborhood of like 40 years. And so
and How I Met Your Mother, she just got there.
Yeah, she just got there. And so she's experiencing life in the time loop for the first time. And he's kind of over it because he's like, oh, yeah, I did all this stuff. Like, I did this years and years and years ago. And so he, like, quickly, like, it's great. It's a rom-com.
Yeah, I'll watch it. Okay.
It's incredibly sweet. And it does not, I would say the thing that is kind of what I thought was going to be the detriment to it was going to be basically like a repeat of Groundhog Day.
Right.
But it does, like, it acknowledges kind of the Groundhog, like that kind of like thought of being in a time loop.
Does in the preview.
But that's the preview is pretty much all that it does, where the rest of the time it's just them getting to know each other in this like time loop situation. And it's just really sweet. And there is no magic to it. There is no, like, you fall in love with someone and you get out of it sort of thing.
Well, don't spoil the movie.
No, but it's just, I think that like it just drives it and makes it so much more powerful because there's not like and we fixed it with love. Like it is like it's really great. It is my big recommendation station. I heard a lot of good stuff about it, and I'm here to tell you it's really, really good.
That's awesome. I have a recommendation.
Okay.
It is the video game Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I beat it moments before the call. In fact, when you texted me and said, I'm ready, I was watching the last cutscene of the video game, and I said, it's going to be a second.
Yeah, and that's good. I'm glad now. I feel less bad about being so late to this call.
Yeah,
because you were like, "Listen, I was gonna wreck some shit in Castlevania, like regardless of when you showed up."
No, it was great because I was close to the end, and I won't. There's actually a lot. What's great about the game is the exploration of it. So I won't tell you anything about the game, but I kind of knew there's a lot of exploration, and I kind of knew like, all right, I'm at the end of the game, like the end. Like if you know Symphony of the Night, like the very end of the game. And I'm there and I'm like, okay, I think this is the end of the game. And you were like, hey, I'm going to be like 20 minutes late. So I like did some stuff and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, okay, I beat that, da, 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 da. And turned the game off, set everything up. And then you were like, it's going to be like 30 minutes. I'm like, I can fucking beat this game in 30 minutes. And I did. And I was like, beat the last boss. And I knew the game was over. And the last cutscene starts playing, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm ready." And I was like, "Sorry, bro, I got things to do. I gotta figure out how this goes." But it is a phenomenal video game. Like it is.
Well, so I don't know anything about Castlevania. So explain to like me and the audience, like what is it about this series that you love the most, and like why is the Symphony of the Night one like what brings it to recommendation station?
Yeah. So Castlevania is a side-scrolling video game. I'm sure everyone knows what it looks like, but just imagine like pixel art and it's side-scrolling. It's a lot like platforming and jumping around. Came out in the 80s or something. So my entry point for this was the television show, which I've talked about a little bit on the show. It's beautifully animated. It's really well written. It's a great television show on Netflix, and I really, really like it. So that nerd podcast I listened to, Wizard and the Bruiser, had an episode on Castlevania, and so I was like, well, I'll listen to that because I like the TV show, and I want to hear them talk about the TV show, and I'll listen to them sit here and talk about a video game. I don't care. So I'll just, whatever. So I listened to it, and it's interesting, and they kept talking about Symphony of the Night as like, this is the best one. And I've read some lists, and it's always like a highly rated one. It's not always the best rated, but the way they talked about it, they were like, Symphony of the Night was this game that like blew everyone's fucking mind, I guess. So I was like, okay, well, if I'm interested in the idea of a Castlevania game, I'll give you my hook for it, what got me in. But, I like, and so like, I want to play the best one. I want to play the best Castlevania. So what is interesting to me is like, basically you pop into this castle and there's all these enemies and whatever. And and the castle is this big winding like maze. So the castle is this big like winding maze, and there's all these points around the map that like you can't get to until you get a certain item, and that'll unlock another part of the map, right? So or you'll go through and you'll find this little passageway, and you'll be going and going and going and going, and then you open a door and you pop out at some area of the castle that you were at 4 hours ago, right? Like it's all about this like exploration, and it's kind of a hard video game. It's not really super hard, but like I don't know. What was interesting to me was this idea of backtracking and sort of all these secrets, and it's a lot of like the experience of the game to me, having never played a Castlevania game before, was like at every turn, I had no idea what was going to be the next thing. Like I had no idea what was coming next, what could be next, what were the options. Like it was just this really, really fun experience of exploring this castle. I have no idea how big it is. There's a little, you have a mini map so you can see what you've explored, but like it's huge. It's a huge castle, and you don't know when it's going to be done. Like you don't know how far to the left or right. You don't know the width. You don't know the height. You don't know when you're going to encounter a boss. You don't know. And you can go in any direction you want. Now there's some limiting, like you can't go some areas because like I said, you have to like, beat this boss, and then in the next room you get an item that, well then if I go all the way back to the start, there was that door I couldn't open, now I can go there. But it's, so there is some linearness to it. Like you especially in the beginning, you hit some points where it's like, I have to go this way and beat this boss. Every other exit is closed to me for whatever other reasons. But it's just the experience to me of playing this game was like never knowing what was next, never knowing when it was over, never knowing how much more there was to the game or like what was gonna happen. I mean, there's a whole I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a whole like there's multiple endings to the game based on like what you do, but it's not like Fable or like BioShock or something where it's like if you make the good choices or the bad choices. No, it's like there are whole huge sections of the game that you can totally skip and miss out. Like you could go all the way and like get to the final cutscene or get to one of the final cutscenes super quick and miss out on like huge parts of the game just because it's all about this like exploration. And I know from knowing that like I beat the entire game, which was a lot of fun, but it's oh man, there's so many like little secrets and little passageways and it was a shit ton of fun, and I beat it like minutes before we got on this call. It was a lot of fun.
So I'm looking at it here and it says that it's for the PlayStation. Did you play it on the PlayStation?
No, so that's the other thing. So why it's so, I think, because I've never played the older games. So no, I have a PlayStation 3 that my father-in-law gave me. And with the PlayStation Network, you can buy old games. So you can just buy a game. Like I just went on the PlayStation Network, looked up Symphony of the Night, and it was on there, and then I could download it from there. So no. So I played it on a PlayStation, but not the PlayStation. But part of why this game is so like, I think part of why it was so expansive and cool, and like the sprites are so detailed and the animations are cool, and like the bosses are huge and all this kind of stuff, is because when everything else in that era of video games was going to this is all from the Wizard and the Bruce here. When everything else was going to 3D, like Mario 64 and Legend of Zelda and Crash Bandicoot, they were using the new technology to build 3D games, right? So like, I mean, and iconic 3D games, but 3D games, and every franchise was going 3D, and there's lots of like terrible stories of franchises that tried to go 3D and it was awful, and the games weren't any good, including Castlevania later on. But what the guys at Konami did for Castlevania is they said, what if we use all of this extended hardware and like hardware and power, and instead of using it towards 3D, why don't we just make the best 2D game? And so they used all that extra memory and stuff for that.
Yeah, so like spiritual successors to this will be like Shovel Knight or
Yeah.
Jughead.
Cuphead, yeah.
Cuphead, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the different kinds of games. I think.
Well, I mean, like
from what
using
yes.
using all of the process power of like a big platform to do something really stylistic and interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Or yeah, if someone made like, I mean, no, you gave the best example, right? Where it wasn't a retro game. It was just not going with the next thing. You know what I mean? It was because it wasn't quite retro games like Cuphead or Shovel Knight, because that was like a couple years ago the only thing people could make. But they looked at the new technology and said, instead of futzing around with 3D while everyone's still trying to figure it out, what if we just stick with what we know, but do the absolute best version of it? And I think that's why. I think part of why Symphony of the Night has got such a reputation is that kind of Edison's light bulb thing, where like is it the best one ever? No, but like at the time, it like blew everyone's mind. Like it was such a revolution at the time. It's not exactly Edison's light bulb, but like one of those things where like it had such an effect on people that everyone remembers it as the best game, because that was their experience of it. Was this is the best game I've ever played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at some of looking at some of the pictures here, and you are exactly right. This like you can definitely see that, especially the game that looks like this, the sprites don't have like these guys like is clearly wearing an outfit, and I can see the outfit.
Yeah. And when he
like,
runs,
it's not like blips and blops. Like he has hair that I can see. He has like very distinct like linings in his jacket. His sword is very detailed. Yeah, this is great.
Well, look up some of the bosses. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head that's like, what is the one I just Galamoth? Galamoth. I think
one of them just appears to be a big ass like ball.
Yeah, it is a big ball of human corpses.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
I can see that now.
Yeah, it's a big ball of human corpses. Yeah, actually, that's a good example.
That doesn't seem very, good. There he is. There's Galamoth.
He's a space something.
He looks like a dinosaur that is also wearing like some dinosaur specific clothing.
Yeah, and he's got like kind of predator hair. Anyway, well, part of the thing too is like, and this is again, I never played. I mean, I came into video games, PlayStation 1. So I never played any of those games before that, but from what I understand, like, so that boss Galamoth is like, I want to say like 5 times the taller than your player character. Like they're huge. Like the monsters, I mean the bosses at least, are like giant. Like for a kind of sprite based, I don't know if it's sprite based, but you know what I mean. That kind of like pixel art style. Like they are massive. Characters you're fighting.
Yeah, I can see the one that he's they're looking at each other where it's like, he is the entire screen. He's bigger than the screen itself.
Oh yeah, if you just see any screenshots of like the boss fights, like they're huge. And Beelzebub is really gross. He's also the entire screen. And no, anyway, but it's I don't have a super informed opinion. Like I said, I don't play a lot of video games. I do play more now, because everyone who cares about me in my life says I need hobbies outside of work. So I picked video games.
That's it's especially for your line of work in animation, it only makes sense to kind of dip into what they're doing.
That's fair, and the animation is pretty cool. But yeah, it's a good video game. I don't have a super informed opinion of it with video games as a whole, but it's pretty cool.
Well, I think
so. I recommend it.
I think that in of itself is I don't have a lot of opinions about video games. This one's just really cool. I think that that in and of itself is a glowing recommendation.
Well, and so the other,
because like this is just good stuff. Like it, but they were like, I don't know anything about music, but like this.
Hey man, listen to this.
These
the
Beatles characters.
Yeah, exactly.
They're doing something.
Well, it's funny because the other video game I've mainly played is Dark Souls. Like that's like the hard game. That's like the one, and it's kind of like Symphony of the Night is kind of like a 2D version of Dark Souls. Like the thing that is cool about Dark Souls, like the exploration and the map and the wrapping around and the different like passageways that lead back to each other, like that cool thing and the massive difficulty, that is Symphony of the Night, but it's 2D. So I think that's probably what I liked about it. It's like the video game I really like. It's like that, but it's 2D.
Sick. Do you want to do the backdoor pilot for our new segment?
Yeah, I think we can probably get one in. I mean, we're
absolutely. I mean, that's why it's a backdoor pilot. So we got to see if there's lots of fan engagement if they want some more of it. Anyway, thank you all for coming to Recommendation Station. This is the last stop.
This is the last stop. Drive.google.com. Go to Drive.
Go to Drive. Go watch Drive starring Ryan Gosling.
Is that movie good? Wait, have I seen that movie? Yeah, Crash is the one that everyone's mad about.
Probably. Yeah.
I always get this mixed up. Drive is pretty good.
Yeah, Drive's really good. Drive is like a movie that dudes that like movie posters like. Oh gosh.
Dropped that whole microphone, huh?
I dropped it right on the ground. Oh no, I dropped the microphone so hard I opened up a new program.
What program did you? You sound fine.
Yeah, I'm still recording, so that's good. But yeah, I don't know. I opened up a new side to GarageBand. That's wild.
Is it the robot voice again?
No. No, it's I just have a new window. Like I opened up a media file. Forget it. It's not important. I can still record.
It's really not important. Yeah.
Ooh, I can drop in old Get Betters on top of this Get Better.
Oh, I don't think that's gonna be good. So,
mud gods. Anyway,
I would wait, hold on. I'm doing a little bit of highlighting. Should have done this before, but I was beating Castlevania.
Priorities. I fixed it.
Cool, and I highlighted it. Well, listeners, I would like to introduce to you a new segment I call Help That Yelp. And so, Zach, my friends over at Yelp have contacted me, and they have brought to my attention some 1-star reviews. That they heard Script Doctor. They said, you guys did such a good job with all of those scripts and helping those people. We would like you to help some of our customers. So they've sent me over some 1-star reviews, and they would like us to come up with some creative solutions on how to solve that problem for these people. Now, you have mentioned previously that you work in a coffee shop, and I just thought you could bring some of that expertise to the table. So while I did not pick your coffee shop, although I sent you some very funny reviews of your coffee shop, I picked some other coffee shops and their 1-star reviews, and I thought that maybe we could help these people bring some expertise and help that Yelp. Are you ready?
You ready? So ready.
Okay, so these are all coffee shops. This is from Elizabeth G. Okay. I'm not going to read the whole thing, so it's very long.
As oftentimes 1-star reviews are.
Yeah. So
1-star reviews are less about the place and more about how it has offended them as a person. Okay, but continue.
Well, here's the thing.
I have some ideas already.
Well, here's the thing. People really tell on themselves in these, which is really bizarre, where they will give there are a lot that I cut out because it was just like bad customer service, but people really are like, there was one guy, it was a car wash, and the guy was like, I took this to the car wash and it was bad service, and I've been driving for more than 10 years. And I was like, that's a weird detail to put in that so you're like 26? Like, that's not, you haven't been driving for that long.
Yeah.
Also, you still know what a dirty car is. I don't understand why that would, all right. Well, anyway, so Elizabeth G went to a Starbucks, and she gave it a 1-star review. This is in Nashville. And she said, the only reason I frequent this Starbucks is because it's in my office building. Okay. Mm-hmm. So she says she feels very uncomfortable about writing this review because she thinks they're going to spit in her latte, but she just, enough is enough. So her main concern is they keep getting her drink wrong. But let's hear what in Elizabeth's word. The main reason I don't recommend the Starbucks location is because my drink is never made correctly. Most recently, I ordered and paid for, which is a weird detail. I sort of assumed you paid for it, but fine. I ordered and paid for.
Elizabeth does not want there to be any question of who is in the wrong here.
Yeah, and actually, now that I say that, I think there's a reason she mentioned this, but I ordered and paid for a tall beverage. And I think what she's pointing out is the fact that what she only paid for the tall size. So she paid the correct price for a tall beverage. I ordered and paid for a tall beverage, but was given a grande. Now, to most, this would be a welcome mistake. But I order a tall so that I'm not wasteful. I can barely finish the tall size. And so I don't drink twice as many calories before 9 a.m. The time before that, I requested no whipped cream and was promptly given a beverage covered in whipped cream. I mentioned, bad customer service, blah, blah, blah. So I picked it up and proceeded to swipe the whipped cream into the garbage can in front of her.
Power move.
I'm sure she rolled her eyes. I don't pay $5 for a drink to feel inconvenienced by a barista. Sneeze. Now, and then that's her whole review. Now, what stood out to me about Elizabeth G's review is that the two major complaints was that people were giving her things that were good. And
yes.
She was very upset about that. She ordered and paid for a tall beverage, but was given a grande, which, if I understand the very weird system at Starbucks, that is a bigger size, yes?
Yes, it is.
She got a bigger drink, right?
But she doesn't want to be wasteful.
And then, separately, she was given whipped cream, a delicious treat, and she didn't want whipped cream. So off the bat, I just want to... Now, I've read this before, so I'm coming in with a little bit. Obviously, she doesn't like things that make her happy.
Mm-hmm.
So what can we do to this Starbucks to make it worse and more miserable so that Elizabeth G will enjoy it more? Because it seems like what she doesn't enjoy is being happy or good things happening to her. So what can we do to the Starbucks to make it Elizabeth G's personal hell, which, by the transitive property, will make it her favorite Starbucks?
Okay, step number one.
Unless you have something else, but that's what I'm thinking.
Step number one: bring back the red cups, the ones that made everyone so upset.
Yeah.
But definitely advertise this as this is a precursor that Christmas does not exist anymore. God is dead, and Starbucks has this ideology.
Yeah, and it's year round.
Exactly. Make the red cups. Those just exist now, and then somehow around Christmas make them even redder. I don't know how you would do that, but just have
make
a
the
lighter
coffee
hue.
red.
Yes, exactly. So number one, bring that back. Something, because that is something so easy to be upset about and to definitely get likes on your Facebook.
What if we suggest decorate it like Christmas all year round, but either don't mention it at all or just call it holiday decorations?
Exactly.
But
always
Santa's there. There's Christmas trees, all that shit.
Mm-hmm. I just call it holiday and have a cup that somehow has every holiday represented except for Christmas.
Except, of course, Christmas.
Except for Christmas. That's okay. I think getting you have to set the vibe first thing.
I've got one more. And you do need to print a bunch of red cups that do have both a nativity and Jesus Christ on them. And they're just in view back behind the counter on those little shelves. They're not for sale. Sorry, we can't. Honestly, we can't. I know. So she's gonna ask, and she's gonna be like, "Well, I don't want the red cups with the menorah and all the other holidays on it. I don't want it with the leprechaun. I don't want all those. I want the Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior cups. So can I just have that?" And they're like, we're sorry, we just can't. Just can't.
Yeah, those are. Yeah, we have to. This is first. Yeah, first in, first out sort of thing.
Yeah, when we run out of these, we'll get but we can't. It's like a health thing. So yeah, so they're there, but you can't have them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, this is a thing that I thought was very interesting about the Starbucks, because it is in her office building.
It is in her office building. The only reason she goes.
The only reason she goes is because in her office building.
Correct.
Now, I think that we could make it worse, because I'm assuming it's in the lobby, as often Starbucks are. I would love to have a construction project to get this 5-star, because once you get this 5-star, then all the other 5 stars are going to start pouring in.
Sure.
Because Elizabeth represents the community that goes to this Starbucks.
I see.
move it up to the third floor.
Okay.
Or move it up to a floor that is move it up to the third or fourth floor. One that you cannot take the stairs to because it's a bit too far in the mornings.
Sure.
But it always makes the elevator super crowded when you're about to go there.
Okay. Maybe hire some people to also just stand in the elevator.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Some people that are very tolerant of the holiday cups, and they bring it up a lot in the elevator. It's primarily what they talk about.
A kind of Starbucks crisis actor is what you're suggesting.
Yes. Hire these crisis. Yes. Yeah. But I think moving it to a floor that's a bit out of the way.
Sure.
I would love that.
Could we bring back smoking?
Maybe at the floor just above where her office is.
Perfect. Now that seems more convenient.
You're right, because she gets walk there from the office.
Yeah, see, that seems worse.
But does she want it closer to her? Like,
Now,
I think the baristas probably, are very upset with her. I'm assuming that this, because there's a lot of things about Elizabeth that puzzle me.
Sure.
Because she says they always get the drink wrong, and then she just tells a story about a very specific drink getting wrong. And I think this is like, she's like, and this is the last straw, and it's like, well, this is a very bad last straw to have.
Yeah, they give you more than you paid for.
Yeah, so that's not a bad. That's a horrible last straw. So I'm thinking that the people at this Starbucks have had run-ins with Elizabeth before.
Sure.
So maybe making it a little closer.
Now here's a suggestion. I've got two.
Or go out of your way to infiltrate the company she works for by staging a very long coup where all of her coworkers become the Starbucks baristas that she has wrong.
That is exactly what I am saying. Is don't move it closer to her office. Move it into her office. Make it hurt. She walks in and her cubicle still has her name on it, right? But it is a cubicle in the middle of the holiday Starbucks. Also, we bring back smoking. So everyone is just smoking in there the entire time, all day.
Smoking in the office,
now,
yeah.
She's not allowed to smoke because it's against company policy, but everyone is allowed to smoke in the Starbucks. That is her office.
Yes, yeah. Because she works for that company, she is not allowed to smoke.
No, it's against company policy.
Exactly.
But she is in the smoking holiday Starbucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think maybe with and because if it is up higher, the way you get around smoking is just have the windows open.
Right.
So have the windows open all day.
Yes. Winter, summer, whatever.
Yeah.
I think this is good. I think we've probably helped Elizabeth. We've got two more. They're all coffee related, so I think we can probably.
Okay, let's hit them.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you for sending in your request, Elizabeth.
Yeah, we'll get right on that. I'll send it over to my friends at Yelp, and they'll get right on it. Now, this is from Paul P.
Paul Pierce of the Boston Celtics.
Paul P. I cannot remember if this is in Nashville or Louisville. At some point while I was doing this,
Boston.
It's
in Boston.
No, I'm sorry. It's probably in Boston. I was looking in Nashville and Louisville, and then I remembered there are funny things everywhere. I don't know why I feel like I need to know specifically where this restaurant is. This is another Starbucks, so we'll send it over to our friends at Starbucks. All right. This actually might be the same Starbucks. I can't remember. Okay. There is, in fact, a Starbucks located inside Renaissance Hotel downtown. I tried to use a Starbucks free drink coupon. The only reason I bothered coming to this stupid hotel and was politely declined. They didn't even give the Starbucks member card discount, even though they take the Starbucks member card. They wear Starbucks uniforms, sell stupid Starbucks products. They make Starbucks coffee. This location should have a big freaking sign above it, not participating Starbucks, i.e. not a Starbucks. The reason you go to Starbucks Cafe instead of a real cafe is consistency and expectations. I don't care if it's a franchise that thinks it can gouge hotel guests. Jeffrey Schultz, you're dead to me. Too bad.
Okay.
Too bad the smiley barista made my itty bitty soy latte was winning and made a nice foam. The smiley. Oh, let me take that one again. Too bad. The smiley barista who made my itty bitty soy latte was winning and made a nice foam. Nope, I got it right the first time.
Okay.
So that's Paul P. I want to hear what jumped out to you. There's at least one thing that really jumped out to me, but I want to hear what you think we should do about Paul P's experience with the not Starbucks.
So I don't know if it's funny or not, but I know exactly what he's talking about, which is interesting for me. So yeah, that's the thing that Starbucks does, is they have these company stores that don't exist as Starbucks. They sell Starbucks products, but they are not themselves a Starbucks store.
Got it.
So they don't accept gift cards or any other of the promotions. They don't make the special drinks. They also happen a lot in Barnes and Nobles.
Those ones, yeah.
Yeah, so those are Barnes and Noble coffee shop, but they are allowed to sell Starbucks products with the Starbucks brand name. So my thing, so that jumped out to me, and I think it is enough of a frustration that happened when I worked at Starbucks, where people would talk to me about this as if I'm going to run over there and kick some ass.
Right.
So I think the thing to do with that is, take a page of the book of Nathan Fielder, and it's called Fake Starbucks.
Call it Fake Starbucks. You're saying put a big sign that says,
it's not a real Starbucks.
Here's what it is. Here's what it is. Make it, and I hope this is not a Nathan for you bit, because I don't mean it to be. Make it a speakeasy. Is that what he does in the Fake Starbucks?
No, he doesn't.
Perfect. Awesome. Great. Make it a speakeasy, right? Lean into it. All right, now it's an exclusive. Paul P, you can't even get in now, and that's why you love it, because you got to know the password to get this Starbucks coffee from not a This is bootleg Starbucks.
Oh, I see. So they have stolen Starbucks coffee.
Lean into it, right? Not just, oh, sorry, we don't take the coffee.
Exactly. And they're just like,
we don't do that.
They start to kind of give the gift card, and you kind of look at them like, are you insane?
Like,
they'll get that out of here. Like, they're going to track us if you bring this in here.
Instead,
they'll know where our speakeasy is.
Instead of telling them the exact journey that their beans took to get there, you say, these beans? I don't know. They fell off the back of a truck. Who knows where they came from?
What's it to you?
What's it to you? What are you, a cop?
They're in your cup, aren't they? So why does it matter where they came from?
Why don't you just drink it and shut up? That's 5 stars right there. Now, something that also stood out to me.
Because then you think you're going to stick it to the man.
Right.
Like if you think that's like, I'm a part of this place that's stealing from Starbucks, even if you don't know anything about Starbucks, you're just like, guys, like, this is our movement. Yeah. We're the ones that we're taken from the rich, and we're paying these baristas that are in front of us. Although it'll probably be still be the hotel. It'll be the exact same thing.
It's the same thing, but
just rebrand it.
Right, but instead of him being mad that they aren't taking his Starbucks member discount, he's excited for the bootleg Starbucks markup. Now there's even more money, and he's stoked about it.
That's a really great idea.
The other thing that stood out to me is the sentence, "Jeffrey Schultz, you're dead to me."
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason this stood out to me is because the CEO of Starbucks is named Charles Schultz.
Yep.
And so at first I thought maybe this is a silly man who doesn't know who Charles Schultz is and said his name wrong. But then I looked into it. Here's my episode of Serial right here. I looked into it. I pinged. That's it. I pinged all the cell towers. I looked. I drove. You couldn't get that far.
I pinged all the 5G cell towers. I got coronavirus.
Boy, we got to talk about that sometime. There is an orthodontist named Jeffrey Schultz in the San Diego area. Now, is it possible that Paul P had some horrible dental work, and as a side note, Jeffrey Schultz is dead to him?
It's definitely a possibility, because where's Jeffrey coming from?
Right.
That's such a specific name. Like,
it sounds nothing like Charles.
This is, and I'm really hoping that Jeffrey Schultz is okay and he's not dead to us as well. But yeah, this could really be a calling card. He could use this as like, there could be this is actually the beginning of what I would consider to be one of the greatest serial killer mysteries ever.
Sure.
Which is like, instead of the Zodiac killer, it's the Yelp killer.
Okay.
And he is leaving notes and trails along Yelp reviews that the police don't even know to be looking on Yelp to find these next clues, where they would never think to look at a 1-star review of a hotel and of a Starbucks hotel that says
Starbucks hotel.
Starbucks Hotel, which is another great idea.
Let's get. I'll send that to my friends at Starbucks.
Yeah, I'll send it to my friends over at Pike Place in Seattle.
Exactly.
And see what they can do. Maybe it's underwater. Who cares? So they would go to that Starbucks Hotel, and next thing you know, this Jeffrey Schultz guy, and you'd think to yourself, "Oh, this guy's just an idiot," and he missaid Charles Schultz.
No.
It actually feeds into the brilliance that is this guy making his way across the country.
Right. He doesn't even care about Starbucks. He's not even upset about Starbucks. This is all Jeffrey Schultz.
You have to look. You have to look at it like a code,
right?
Which is good for our old podcast. Yeah. So you'd go there, and then you'd actually be looking at the cipher found within,
right?
And you would see that it's all a map. That's wild.
So I've got one more for you. We're coming to the end here, and this one, it's more of a spoken word poem.
Ooh.
This is from Louisville. It is by user John C. He has one review and no friends.
John Cena.
John Cena. This is from our friend John Cena, who has one review and no friends, and it is a 1-star review that I would like to entitle Shaman Thornton. Shaman Thornton. In prospect, call the police. In regular customer is really nasty. What, you need more publicity? Thornton called the police in a former NBA basketball player. Shame in the company. They should help him. Nasty people. That is Shaman Thornton.
That is amazing. Review.
So that is our first segment of Help That Yelp. Hope you enjoyed it. Or not.
We'll still probably be doing it.
We'll probably do it regardless.
Well, there's lots of people that need our help. There's lots of Yelps that need our help, and honestly, we're on a contract to do this, so it doesn't really matter
Yelp
what
a
you
lot
think.
of money, so you're gonna hear a couple more of these at least.
Anyway, that's our show. Thank you all so much for listening to Get Better. You can find us at Get Better Podcast. That's Get_Better_Podcast on Instagram. You can also reach us at meetthefockers2, fockedup@gmail.com. And there you can give us your business inquiries as well as general questions or anything else that's going on. I don't really know how the Spotify algorithm works, but if you could, like on the iTunes, find a way to give us 5 stars or to just listen to us on repeat all day so that we get farther up there in the Get Better charts across all of those self-help podcasts that do not have our best interests in mind in terms of us becoming famous.
Cowards and enemies, yeah.
Exactly. Find a way to do that. And but until then, that's your homework assignment, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right.
See you. Bye forever.